sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. Authorities say a teen has gone missing in Gonzales. We'll tell you what leads authorities have so far in the abduction. And the impeachment articles against Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas has advanced to the House floor. We have the next steps for the GOP-led initiative that could make history on Capitol Hill. Plus, UPS says they plan to lay off nearly 12,000 employees following a sharp decline in year-over-year revenues. We have the details on this story and more coming up.
And we're still getting a little glimpse of that nice spring weather until we get a cool front coming our way over the weekend, and we'll take a look at that in the weather coming up.
Not only did we get a chance to speak with a Spurs legend at the St. Joe Flyer Dome, but Bloomington looking for a big home win. I'll have that in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astrain.
And I'm Parker Cox.
Today is the 31st day of January 2024. The time is now 6:30 on our Wednesday morning, and it's National Zebra Day.
Zebra Day.
Yeah.
You like zebras?
I love zebras. You know, we had a story about that zebra bubble gum.
Zebra bubble gum.
They're not gonna make it anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Zebra bubble gum. I actually never even heard of that one.
I'll have to show it to you later. It's timeless.
Timeless? Interesting.
All right, well, Parker, how's it looking out there for us today?
Well, looking out there right sunrise, Carolina. Look at that. It's very nice and pretty with that cloud cover too. Gosh, that might be one of the prettiest sunrises I've seen on the show this morning. But anyways, if y'all tuning in with us this morning, or if you're just waking up, looking live, look at Eastern Victoria, or like I said, look at that pretty sunrise and a very chilly morning. It's a little chilly morning out there right now, about 45 degrees with a dew point 43 though, just 2 degrees off. You got a 93% humidity, so it's a little bit humid out there, but not enough to create fog. So you might see a little bit of dew on your windshields this morning. But down there on the coast there, y'all might see a little bit of fog, especially because y'all have some higher humidities. Maybe see a little bit of light fog this morning. So please be careful on the roads if you do see some fog out there this morning. But looking at your weather headlines for this week, it is going to be nice and warm for the rest of this week until this weekend, until Saturday. We've got a cool front coming our way, bringing us right back into just a little bit chillier temperatures next week. Not too much of a change, but we do have a chance of some showers and thunderstorms Friday overnight into Saturday morning ahead of that cold front. But right now, not too bad. Like I said, all of us right now starting out your day in the mid and lower 40s, some of us in the 50s down there on the coast because you're right next to that water where it's more consistent. But today, if you like that weather the last couple days, it's going to be just about the exact same today. About 72, 73 today, and going to be very nice with partly cloudy skies this afternoon. But we do have a good shot at seeing a cool front coming our way on Saturday. It's going to come off of this upper level low. It's a deep one, a deep upper level low up there in the northern Pacific, and it's going to spawn another low coming right off of the southern end of that, which is going to come right over the Rockies and redevelop in the Panhandle region over the weekend, bringing us a cool front and some rain, thunderstorms, and a little bit chillier weather coming our way next week. And I'll take a look at that and more in the extended forecast coming up in just a few more moments. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. Authorities have called a search for a 14-year-old Scarlett Smith who disappeared from the Gonzales area yesterday afternoon. Authorities issued the Amber Alert around 4:20 p.m. yesterday. Smith reportedly had on a red hoodie at the time of her abduction. As for the suspect, authorities have named 22-year-old Barry Ben Van Mersbergen as the suspect in the case. Witnesses last saw the two in a tan 2012 GMC Terrain with a handicap license plate number 3RVWG. You are urged to call 911 immediately if you have any information on their whereabouts. House Republicans voted earlier to advance their impeachment articles against the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. The vote would make Mayorkas the first cabinet secretary to be impeached in nearly 150 years. After a 15-plus hour meeting, the GOP-led committee voted 18-15 along party lines to advance two impeachment articles to the House floor. Debate and votes on the articles are expected next week. House Republicans accuse Mayorkas and the Biden administration of disregarding federal laws on immigration. The impeachment articles released on Sunday accuse the top immigration leader of willfully and systemically refusing to comply with the law and breaching public trust. Authorities say they've captured a man who had a warrant out for his arrest in Victoria County. Deputies in the U.S. Marshal Service Task Force worked together to take the man into custody. They arrested 24-year-old Elijah Aragon in the 3200 block of Mayfair yesterday. Authorities issued a warrant for his arrest after he reportedly violated his parole for sexual assault of a child. He's now in the Victoria County Jail with a bond set at $60,000. There's no bond set for two men arrested for the same crime Monday in Victoria. 21-year-old Erasmo Garcia and 18-year-old Rico Macias now face charges of deadly conduct, discharge of a firearm, and tampering or fabricating physical evidence with the intent to impair. The suspects remain in the Victoria County Jail this morning. Continuing coverage on that fire Monday night in the 2000 block of East Power Avenue near Avenue D. The Victoria Fire Department ruled the home a total loss. The fire appears to have started after a fiber optics worker hit a gas line. 3 people inside the home made it out safely without any injuries. UPS released a statement yesterday saying it would cut about 12,000 employees due to a decline in the revenue combined with rising labor costs. UPS says it saw a $9 billion decline in year-over-year revenues. Also, the company agreed to a $30 billion contract with the Teamsters Union last July. Those 12,000 jobs is about 2.4% of the company's 500,000 global workforce. Employees affected will receive severance packages and outplacement assistance. Elon Musk says Neuralink has implanted a device in the brain of its first human subject. The device is called telepathy, and it's designed to allow people to control their phones and computers just by thinking. Musk said the subject is recovering well, and the initial results showed promising neuron spike detection. The FDA gave its approval last year for Neuralink to conduct its first in-human clinical study, and would have to give its approval to any future consumer product. And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code on your screen to take part. We ask you, would you get a brain implant? Okay, let's take a look. 10% of you say yes, you would. And 90% of you say no, you would not. We want to keep hearing from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. And remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is now 6:37 on our Wednesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. Domestic violence is the #1 reason women and children become homeless.
I'm ABC's Em Wynn in Washington. President Biden says he has made a decision in how to respond after an enemy drone killed 3 U.S. service members in Jordan. The latest coming up.
And also coming up after the break, we'll take a look at your school bus forecast, followed by your weather and health forecast. And later on Sunrise, we'll take another look at that cool front that's coming our way over the weekend. Well, good morning, Crossroads. If y'all are tuning in with us this morning, look at a live look at a purple sky out there in Cuero as that sun's starting to come up. It's going to be a nice day for all of us today. But right now, a little bit chilly out there right now, about 43 degrees up there in Cuero right now. But with the dew point just 3 degrees off from the temperature, you got a 90% humidity out there. So it's a little bit humid out there this morning. Not enough for fog, but you might see a little bit of dew on your windshields this morning as you're heading out the door. So please be careful if you do see some fog out there on the roads this morning, because there definitely might be some down there on the coast. But if you're seeing your kiddos out the door this morning, it's going to be about 45 that are heading out the door, maybe 43 in Cuero like you saw there. But you might want to pack up a jacket because they're going to be taking it off this afternoon. It's going to be nice and warm, about 73 today under those partly cloudy skies. But looking at your weather and health forecast here, only concern today is your moderate chance for some tree pollen today. But UV index is also moderate today at about a 5. So I'll leave it to you if you'd like to choose whether or not if you like an allergy pill or not. But for the rest of this week, we've got that nice weather until that cool front comes Saturday. But we'll take a look at that more in just a few more moments. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. Bloomington looking for big wins, and a San Antonio Spurs legend was invited to the St. Joseph Flyer Dome. Here's sports reporter Zach Brown.
The St. Joseph girls were able to come away with a big win, but the boys did not have that same fortune. They do fall to TMI Episcopal 85-61, still searching for that district win, but a few players had some big games. And by the way, the head coach of the Episcopal Panthers, well, that will be three-time NBA champ and Spurs legend Bruce Bowen. We caught up with him after the game. He says coaching, much more than just wins.
Especially in the private school sector, is for our kids to be able to approach each obstacle in life and look at it dead on and not feel any type of intimidation or any nervousness as far as, oh I might not get the job or I might not get this. I want them to be able to show up place and be like, you know what, I put in the work, I'm prepared, now just let the chips fall where they may. I just want them to have the heart of lions that God has blessed them with and go from there.
He talked a lot about teaching kids to overcome obstacles and teaching the game the right way. And one team that's getting taught the game the right way, the Bloomington boys and girls who continue their impressive seasons. The boys trying to win a district title will likely need some help. The community showing up, repping the green and white early on. The Bloom trailed by 2, but Sean Darby, the putback to tie the game. A few possessions later, Sebron Taylor splashes one from downtown. That's going to give Bloomington the lead. And on that trip down the court, great defense under the basket by Sean Darby is going to lead to a coast-to-coast finish. They end up winning in overtime, 46-37. The Bloomington girls also got a big win as well. With your 25 Sports Now, I'm Zach Brown.
Thank you, Zach. All right. We want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. President Joe Biden officially making a decision on a military response to a deadly drone attack that killed 3 American soldiers in Jordan. The Biden administration blames Iran-backed militants, but the question remains whether it will deter future assaults.
This morning, U.S. retaliation could come at any moment against the Iran-backed militants blamed for the drone attack in Jordan that left 3 American service members dead and 40 others injured. President Biden saying his decision is made after the Pentagon gave him multiple options.
Iran responsible for the death of those 3 Americans. I do hold them responsible in the sense that they're supplying the weapons to the people who did it.
U.S. officials telling ABC News the strike is expected to hit multiple targets over several days. Another saying strikes will likely target Iranian assets outside Iran, with most of the strikes in Syria.
I don't think we need a wider war in the Middle East. That's not what I'm looking for.
U.S. bases have suffered more than 160 attacks in the region since Israel's war with Hamas broke out in October. Yemen's Houthi rebels, backed by Iran, have also attacked ships transiting the Red Sea in response to the war in Gaza.
We have called on the Iranian proxy groups to stop their attacks. They have not, and so we will respond in a time and manner of our choosing.
Biden spoke with the families of the 3 fallen service members, Sergeants William Rivers, Kennedy Sanders, and Brianna Moffitt. Moffitt's mother telling our Faith Abube about the moment officials broke the tragic news to them.
And he looked at me and he said, "I'm sorry, Miss Moffitt, but Brianna was killed this morning in a drone attack." And I'm like, my baby, you can't take my baby.
The families of the soldiers killed in the attack will be at Dover Air Force Base Friday when the bodies of their loved ones return to the U.S. The White House says President Biden will also attend. In Washington, Em Nguyen, ABC News.
Domestic violence is the #1 reason women and children become homeless. Jenny Stafford with Midcoast Family Services say they have the ability to help anyone in need at no cost. Midcoast Family Services sees about 400 women and children every year at their domestic violence shelter. She says the stigma of asking for help has lessened over the years, but domestic violence is still hard for many to accept.
A victim will try to cover up or normalize the behavior. They may really love this person that's being abusive to them. And so it's hard for them to accept that it's actually abuse and it's not normal behavior.
Stafford says if anyone finds themselves in a violent situation, they should take the first step to a better life by calling them at 361-573-HELP. Victoria College's Board of Trustees hosted a groundbreaking ceremony for their new Student Success Center Tuesday afternoon. It'll house various services, including a library, food center, counseling services, and more. VC President Dr. Jennifer Kent says this building would act as a safe space for students as well.
To understand the purpose of this very building, you must first understand our students. And so for us to help a student, they need to have a strong sense of belonging right here on campus, and more than anything, they have to have belief that they can finish.
We're going to build a student success.
76% of the building's funding came from grants and donations. The rest stemmed from a $10 million bond approved back in May 2023. The Student Success Center is set to open in 2025, just in time for the college's 100th anniversary. The time is now 6:46 on our Wednesday morning. Still to come, the FDA updating its oversight of cosmetic products.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. I hope y'all been enjoying that very nice weather that we've been having all week, because it's going to continue for the rest of this week. And that actually leads us to today's weather poll. Today's weather poll asks, would you call this perfect weather? When I say perfect weather, I'm talking all the variables, including wind, temperature, humidity, cloud cover, all the variables. But look what y'all are saying this morning. About 92% of y'all say, yes, this is perfect weather. And I'm right there with y'all. It's been very nice. I've been outside just about every day this week. And 8% of y'all say, no, it's not perfect weather. Maybe one of those variables was a little bit off. But thank you for voting on today's weather poll. Vote on future weather polls. Go to crossroadtoday.com/vote-weather to participate and see what everybody else is saying as well. But looking at your temperatures for yesterday, we're going to pretty much have the exact same weather yesterday for today. Got up to 72, but started out in the mid-40s. Right now, we are starting out in the mid-40s already, and we're going to be warming up to about that exact same temperature today, about 72, 73 this afternoon. If you like that, it's going to continue for the rest of this week, because we've got lots of southerly winds coming out of the Gulf off of these two highs. You can see here, all the winds returning out of the Gulf, bringing in all that warm, humid air to our area until this weekend. We get a cool front coming off of an upper level low coming off of the North Pacific that's going to run right over the Rockies and redevelop in the Panhandle, bringing us a cool front Saturday afternoon with lots and lots of showers overnight Friday night into Saturday morning. But looking at why that is, it's because there's a jet stream. It's actually really building up over there. You can see it on the west coast over there in the North Pacific, and it's going to develop that low coming our way. But coming up a little bit, we'll take another look at those temperatures and those rain chances and more in just a few more moments. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. Jean Carnahan, the first Missouri woman to become a U.S. Senator, died Tuesday evening after a brief illness. She was 90 years old. Her husband, Governor Mel Carnahan, their son Roger, and Carnahan's aide, Chris Sifford, were killed in a plane crash on the way to a Senate campaign event in southeast Missouri. Missouri law did not allow his name to be removed from the ballot. 3 weeks after his death, Mel Carnahan posthumously won the election. The Food and Drug Administration is updating its oversight of cosmetic products. The agency says it receives about 5,000 reports each year about health problems related to the use of cosmetic products. The FDA's authority to regulate cosmetics expanded late last year under the Modernization of Cosmetics Regulation Act, or MACRA. Regulators now require manufacturers and distributors to submit reports of serious adverse events related to the cosmetic products directly to the FDA, and to do so within 15 business days. Before, reports were only voluntary. The FDA has a website instructing consumers and healthcare professionals on how to report a cosmetic-related complaint via phone, online, or in the mail. Major League Baseball team, the Baltimore Orioles, have agreed to be sold for $1.7 billion. A source familiar with the deal says the group buying the team is led by billionaire and Baltimore native David Rubenstein. The group also includes Hall of Famer and the team's legend Cal Ripken Jr. However, the purchase still needs to be finalized by the MLB. Peter Angelos and his family have owned the team for more than 30 years, and the current price tag is 10 times at $173 million. Angelos and his partners paid for the team in 1993. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. Jean Carnahan, the first Missouri woman to become a U.S. Senator, died Tuesday evening. Jean Carnahan, the first Missouri woman to become a U.S. Senator, died Tuesday evening after a brief illness. She was 90 years old. Her husband, Mel Carnahan, their son, Roger, and Carnahan's aide, Chris Sifford, were killed in a plane crash on the way to a Senate campaign event in southeast Missouri. Missouri law did not allow his name to be removed from the ballot. 3 weeks after his death, Mel Carnahan posthumously won the election. Acting Governor Roger Wilson appointed Jean Carnahan to fill her husband's seat in the Senate. She served from January 3, 2001 to November 25, 2002. A public celebration of her life is being planned in St. Louis, with details to be announced at a later date. A child was hurt during a drive-by shooting in Florida Tuesday. Police say a 34-year-old suspect is in custody. They responded to the scene in Tampa on North 50th Street. They say the man, who was driving a 2013 white Kia Altima, became engaged in a roadway altercation with the occupants of a 2014 white Chevy sedan. The suspect fired a gun at the occupants of the white Chevy, striking a 4-year-old girl who was a passenger in the rear seat. She was transported to a nearby hospital where she is listed in a stable condition. The other 3 occupants in the Chevy were not hurt. An investigation is underway. Early voting continues for the February 3rd mayoral election, and the numbers so far look like this. 533 people voted in person early yesterday, 2,119 total in-person votes, and 1 mail-in vote was received yesterday, a total of 274 mail-in votes cast. Election day is this Saturday. 14 polling centers will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On the ballot, it's Peter Brown, Carissa Winters, Josephine Solis, Dwayne Crocker, Jacob Sauceda, and Bob Constantine. Join us Saturday for complete coverage of the election. The Victoria Fire Department's interim chief is retiring. Shannon Martin joined the department at 18 years old on July 18, 1987, and was promoted to fire chief in 1992. Then, in 1996, he was promoted to fire lieutenant supervising a fire company. In 2005, he was promoted to battalion chief, overseeing a full fire shift. Then in 2016, he became the assistant fire chief in charge of the fire department operations. In 2023, he took on the role of interim fire chief following the retirement of Chief Tracy Fox. Join 25 News Now anchor Karina Garcia for the 2024 Crossroads Heart and Stroke Walk. It's on Saturday, February 3rd at 8 a.m. It's going to start at 8:15 at Riverside Park. Go to crossroadsheartwalk.org to sign up. The Texas Supreme Court halted depositions that were scheduled to begin Thursday in the whistleblower case against Attorney General Ken Paxton. The decision was made public within hours of former President Donald Trump calling on the court to end the case. Read this story by the Texas Tribune on our website, crossroadstoday.com. And we want you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can watch the newscast whenever you want or live. Just search Crossroads Today Plus on your connected TV. And we have time for a final check of our forecast with Parker. Parker.
Well, Carolina, it is very, very cool. A little, actually not too bad, a little cool out there, but very, very pretty. Look at that sunrise down there on the coast of Port Lavaca right now. But right now on the coast, it is about 47, a little bit chilly, but also very humid. With that dew point 1 degree off, you got a 95% humidity. So you might see a little bit of fog, very light fog down there on the coast where those humidities are much higher. A little bit of patch of fog, but here in the Crossroads, not expecting any fog, maybe a little dew on your windshield. But right now, a little bit chilly out there, like all of us starting out in the 40s this morning and a little bit in the 50s on the coast. But all of us are going to warm up very nicely today, back into that nice weather that we've been having the last couple of days, in the 70s under partly cloudy skies, with that nice weather sticking around for the rest of this week until coming our way Saturday. We've got a cool front coming off an upper level low in the Pacific that's going to run right over the Rocky Mountains and redevelop in the Panhandle region by Friday, which is going to bring us here in the Crossroads lots and lots of rain for Friday night, overnight into Saturday morning, where we could see a couple thunderstorms as well. And then that cool front comes through our area Saturday afternoon, bringing next week's temperatures right back into the 60s. But like I said, for the rest of this week, we've got nice 70-degree weather in our midst, with lots of very good day to go outside for the rest of this week, but very breezy and windy conditions coming as that next low approaches, Carolina.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Parker, for that forecast. I'm looking forward to the next couple of days. And thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Remember, follow us on YouTube, Crossroads Today, and join Karina, Don, Mac, and Zach today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10.